Welcome back, YouTube. Atlanta to Dallas Aviation here with another unboxing. Unboxing number 24, I believe. Recording it shortly after I finished with unboxing number 23. And of course, I decided just to do these separate instead of part 1 and part 2. And this one's a little bit different than the other ones that I got. There was only one model in this package that's for me, and I wasn't sure it was even going to be here before I got a chance to shoot unboxing number 23. But there's also GSE. So GSE, ground service equipment from Fantasy Wings in this unboxing. I'm not going to take them out of their packaging. I'm just going to show you the package and see if I can give you a good view of it through the package. I do have one model that I did receive with the models I have for unboxing number 23. But I didn't have enough time to put it into that video, and B, it's a fantasy model, and it's for a co-worker who wanted me to purchase it for her to have at her desk. But I'm putting it in the video even though it's not mine to keep. I'm putting it in the video because I'm not sure if anyone else is going to even have a video of this particular model. I just don't know how popular it's going to be because, like I said, it was a fantasy model. All right, so without any further ado, I can get through these GSE items really quick. Alright, so the first GSE is from Fantasy Wings is this set of 4 catering trucks. So very nice. So you can see that there's 2 different styles there. One has the yellow on the top of the truck and on the part that would be up against the airplane, and then the other one is pretty much plain white with the gray part that would be up against the aircraft. So nothing particularly special there. I don't really need any additional catering trucks, but honestly, you can't have enough GSE no matter what the equipment is, whether it's buses or tugs, or you definitely can't have enough tugs and bag carts, which I wish someone would put out more of that kind of stuff rather than this and like the cargo version, which, by the way, the next thing I have, Fantasy Wings cargo set. Now this cargo set has UPS branding on it. It doesn't really say it on the, well, I guess you can see. Can you see this? You can see that there's a picture of a UPS 747 freighter there. So it does have branding on it, and honestly it's really hard to see, but the branding, goodness, I'm not even sure my pointer will do this justice, but you can see, maybe you see my pointer here. So right there you have a little UPS sticker there. So basically there's very little sign, very small signs that this is UPS branded. So we got that one, and since I do have a pretty decent amount of cargo stuff, I decided to also go ahead and get a generic version of all that equipment. So there you have it. And what I didn't say on the UPS one, so you've got your cargo loader this is really a lower deck cargo loader. I do have some that load 747s from the front, and it's much higher. We got a baggage belt here for individual packages. We got a couple of tugs here that pull these things that the LD, I think they're called LD containers. So you got 3 of the smaller containers which would sit on these, and then we got 3 of the larger containers that would sit on these, and then these items allow you to put this in, having this in a lowered position rather than up like it is here. And as I understand it, I haven't opened up any of the ones that I've received, but evidently there is magnets in here that hold the container. So I guess the container also is metal, at least metal, and one of these have, or both have, magnets in them, so they stay pretty secure on these. So that's a really nice feature to have, especially since these pieces are small and can easily get lost. Alright, so that's enough for the GSC. Alright, time to get to the models themselves. So the first model, which is the model that I am keeping and is not a fantasy model, boom, the Phoenix Delta MD-11. So the MD-11 for Delta Airlines in the classic widget livery, because there is no other Delta Flight, Wavy Gravy, and Ron Allen. They stink. I hate those liveries. Even though I do have some in my collection, it's only because I've been collecting for so long. I wanted to make sure that I had, you know, whatever was current at the time, so I would have a Delta fleet. But once those, once it was clear that they were moving on to the Upward and Onward livery, I stopped getting the Ron Allen and I stopped getting Wavy Gravy. This is the one. So the classic widget livery. This item number is 04538, and the registration on this aircraft is November 806 Delta Echo. Yeah, and so this is the box art for this, and let's go ahead and get right into this. I've got some extra information on this once we get to the 360 and everything. Looking nice. If I can get this cradle open. Well, I should have probably gone ahead and gotten the airplane out like I usually do, but I only had 2 airplanes, so I thought I could do this quickly. Alright, open up your thing. There we go. Alright, good deal. I don't see any major situations here. Alright, so the wings on this MD-11 is a single piece wing. So meaning the wings don't slot into the fuselage. They're one piece that is either glued or somehow attached to the bottom of the fuselage. But that, you know, that's fine. And it's not extremely obvious, but it's definitely not cutting edge. Alright. So let's put him up here on the box for its 360. It's almost impossible to go wrong with Classic Widget unless you just completely butcher it. I don't see anything that's a major turnoff for me here. But again, it's definitely old tech. Although I don't think many of the available MD11, I don't think a lot of the available MD11s are all that new tech. I don't think there are any new tech molds out there for the MD11. Looking pretty good here. I don't see too many, if any, printing flaws now. I think the cheat line ends in the wrong place. Some of them went, I think if I remember correctly, some of them went all the way to the back into the screwdriver tail back here. And then later on too, I think it ended much closer to the front of the horizontal stabilizer, so that's a little bit messed up. And I think a little bit of this white that's up here on the number 3 engine is actually on the engine, so that would not be correct. But overall, I mean, it looks nice and it is acceptable. It's just hard to say acceptable when, as much as we pay for these things, if they're not almost downright perfect. Alright, so we get our close-up here. A little additional information on this aircraft. It was delivered to Delta in November of 1992, making it approximately 31 years old, a little bit older than 31 years. It is powered by 3 Pratt & Whitney 4460s or 4462s. I'm not sure which model of the engine was on Deltas, but they're Pratt & Whitney 4460s. And when this plane was in passenger service, the seating arrangement inside was 50 business or business first class, or you can think of it as domestic first class is basically what it was. It did do international service, but I'm not sure if it ever had like a first class and then business class and then the rest is coach. But it certainly never had like extra space coach or anything like that, or Delta first. So the seating, from what I could tell, was 50 domestic first class seats and 219 coach seats. This airframe says it is still currently active with UPS, but as we know, Federal Express and UPS are getting ready to retire them, so it won't be flying around much longer if it hasn't already been retired by UPS. So anyway, so we get in close here. So it looks like Phoenix did a good job on cockpit placement, which sometimes they have had trouble with. And you have the basically the classic black nose cone that starts basically at the far edge of the cockpit windows. It's black and it comes here and it wraps down around the bottom of the radome, and then it comes back up the other side and ends at the end of the cockpit windows on that side before it turns into the dark blue that Delta had. So I don't know if you can tell, but they've printed on some details for the radome there. This one comes with the SkyTeam logo right here before we hit the L1 door, which the classic widget was always part of the L1 and L2 door, which you saw on the 360. So this would be basically your domestic first class here, and the jet bridge would come up to the L2 door. So those who are sitting up here would take a left off the jet bridge, and everybody else takes a right and goes to their designated seats. And the classic Delta titles there on top of the cheat line above the L2 door. There's one of your Pratt & Whitney engines with the Delta widget logo with Delta written below it. And this is interesting. This is supposed to be Pratt & Whitney. I can't see this logo here on the engine very well. Maybe that must be a Pratt & Whitney logo. I don't remember that being on there, and it sort of looks like the GE logo, but I guess it is the they do have GE powered MD-11, so those would probably potentially have GE the GE emblem on them, and Delta did have a few of those. Delta ordered the ones with the Pratt & Whitneys, but the General Electric ones were leased, if I remember correctly, but they did have some of those. So moving on back, we have your distinguished and distinguish is not the word I wanted, but this is the wingtips for the MD-11. I've heard someone else say that they aren't quite done right. Oh, I think what it is this bottom part is supposed to actually be tilted out a little bit, where on the model it's straight down. So this is supposed to actually be tilted out a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. And then you can see the registration right here, and then the probably improperly done cheat line as to where it ends back there. And then this is an older actually no, this is how it was, sorry. So this had the classic Delta widget on the top there with MD-11 written on the number 3 engine, and then you have your American flag and your fleet number there at the very top. Alright, so I was ultra thorough on that one. Good thing we only have one other one to do, and it should go faster because, again, like I said, it's a fantasy model. And it is Pink 1, the Southwest Boeing 737 MAX 8 registration, which is also a fictitious registration, is November 8888 Quebec, and called, funny enough, Pink 1. Now, I will have to say that I feel like if Southwest ever, this is a possibility for Southwest to do like a breast cancer awareness plane if they wanted to. And it would probably be called Pink One, regardless of what it would actually look like. But anyway, so this is a NG Models, and the item number there is 88015. So there's what the box looks like. It basically looks like any other box. The box doesn't really show how pink that I'm expecting it to be. I have not looked at the model yet. It really just looks like a whitewashed box to me, and the art there on the front also looks like it's just a whitewashed blue. It almost looks more purple than pink, but we will get into it while I still have a little bit of time left. And while I'm doing that, let me please remind you, if you're enjoying my videos, I would love it if you would leave a like and or subscribe to the channel. So with that said, we will move on to what we actually want to do here. Huh. Yeah, this is pink. So I think my coworker is going to be thrilled. This it's funny. I mean, it's such a novelty. I almost want to have one myself. So, but I'm not going to reveal it quite yet. Let me get my act together here. Get the box ready to do the 360 here. Now I'm going to tell you, now that I see it in person, I'm not going to buy one, but if it ends up being not a popular model, it probably means that NG will have it as a possible free model in the future. So if it does become a free model in the future, I will be picking one up. This is just, this is hilarious. And hilarious in a good way. At least I think so. So here it is. Pink One. So there's, there's nothing to, oops, I guess I'm doing a 360 first. Sorry about that. Let's do this. All right, let's 360 it. I don't know if you can tell on your screen, but the pink on the plane definitely does not match whatever this color is supposed to be on the box. It kind of looks like it does to me on the very small screen that I'm looking at, but it definitely is not. It's definitely almost a Pepto-Bismol pink, but it's not quite that light. And basically, if this was a real thing, everything I said on the actual Max 8 release in unboxing number 23 would be the case. It would be CFM LEAP engines, and basically that would be it. Oh, sorry, going out of frame there. Didn't mean to do that. And we'll definitely give this a close-up. This is highly entertaining to see this in person. I hope it's coming off as pink on your screen as I'm seeing it in person. It is... It's definitely worth getting if I can get it as a free model and just pay shipping. This is strangely outstanding. Alright, so let's get a good, nice close up of this, as close as it will let me get. And that's probably too close. Come on. focus, you dum-dum. Alright, there we go. Alright, so everything about the mold, regardless of whether it's a fictitious livery or not, everything about the mold is the same. They did a great job of printing. Like the window line is not too high. Not that it ever is on the NG models, but sometimes it is on Panda models. Panda is really bad about printing high window lines. But anyway, so we'll start here. I don't know how well you can see it or read it, but that says Pink 1. And then the fictitious fleet number is down here on the bottom. I don't know if this was supposed to be an ETOPS. I think they're saying that this is supposed to be an ETOPS version. So there's your L1 door. It does even come with the heart logo right next to the L1 door before we go into the Southwest billboard titles. And there's what would be the CFM Leap 1B engine with Southwest.com written on it. And then the wingtips are like they would be on an actual livery aircraft with the yellow and red on there. Actually, there is some pink on there too. So where it would be pink, it would actually be blue on the real thing. But so that, then we come back here. In the yellow part there, you can see the fictitious reg number, and then right above that would be I believe where it says ETOPS and maybe a fleet number on it. And then the American flag is in the yellow part that's up on the tail, as you can see there. The L2 door. And then the rest of the pink there, the anti-skid hump there at the bottom is in pink. And then the usual heart tail there, except for that very little bit of pink on there. So let me tell you something. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I think this is great. And I am getting warning that my battery is about to die. So I will go ahead and end. I will go ahead and end here. And until next time, happy collecting.